Ryan's world is ending. This podcast is going to be about the extremely popular child YouTuber Ryan Kaji and how, as he's now turning 13 years old, and how numbers seem to be dwindling on his YouTube channel and his media empire, let's say. The spotlight may be coming away from it. Even though still, with the numbers dropping on there, it's still way more popular than the vast majority of channels like in YouTube history. But yeah, this podcast is about Ryan Kaji, the whole Ryan's world extravaganza, whatever you want to call it, corporation. But before we actually go into what's happening and where things are at the moment, let's talk about the beginning. So his name, this child star, this absolutely loaded, pretty much going to be a teenage YouTube billionaire star, is called Ryan Kaji. He was born in 2011. His birthday is in November, so like he's going to turn 13 like
He's
anytime.
13, yeah.
He is 13 now.
I think so, yeah.
He's from Texas, and he's been making YouTube videos basically since he was 3 years old. So that's like 10 years of YouTube videos. His dad is from Japan and his mum's from Vietnam. His dad used to be an engineer and his mum was a chemistry teacher. And basically they stopped work when they found just how much money they were able to make by making YouTube videos aimed at the younger demographic. Their core demographic is between the ages of 5 and 8 years old, I believe.
Yeah.
And they still see that as their core demographic at the moment. Although I think that they're going to start to adapt that and change that into something which is more age appropriate for Ryan and for like his peers, if you know what I mean. Of course, one clip or one picture that we can't get away from, and Ryan and that lot can't get away from, we'll just touch on it now so it's gone, is the picture of the mother who had got in some legal issues. I think we had seen that quite a few years ago, hadn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old news.
Old news.
Happened in 2002, I
People
believe.
make mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. It happens. I wouldn't use that to like judge her as like who she is and what she is and stuff. It's just things happen. People make mistakes in life. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not as if like she's gone and ruined somebody's life. You don't think so? Some kind of like petty theft, wasn't it? Really. So yeah. So that was that. Getting on to current situation now then, I suppose. I mean, well, one thing I'll say at this point is I feel like the YouTube Kids, the child sphere, the children's content side, I feel like it's actually really quite competitive now.
Yeah, I think so too.
And like there's really good stuff that's made on there now, aimed at like all the right ages from birth basically, innit?
Yeah. There's everything you need from like baby content to 2-year-old to teenager content, and it is really competitive.
It is.
I mean, we've watched it all.
Yeah, we have.
Like, I mean, my kids have watched Ryan's World stuff when they were younger, and they're probably a little less interested in it now.
And that's interesting. I was going to come on to that later, but you've mentioned it. They're not interested in it now.
Do you know what? I can't remember the last time they watched a Ryan's video.
They just don't watch it. And they're actually the core demographic.
Yeah.
Isn't that mad?
Yeah.
They're the core demographic and they do not watch it.
I actually, out of curiosity, maybe about six to 8 months ago, I put a Ryan video on.
Right.
And I think it was something like they'd bought a new house.
Right.
And I think it was a Hawaii house.
Right.
And my eldest actually said, "Oh, it's Ryan." And then he watched it for like 2 minutes, and then it wasn't interesting. He didn't watch the rest.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think there's so much, like you said, there's so much competition. He watches, this like Minecraft, Roblox stuff now.
Yeah.
And that I think is more trendy.
Yeah.
trending within, you know, his demographic.
Yeah.
And like our boys watch that stuff now.
And even if our boys didn't really watch Minecraft, Roblox, we'd put them onto like the educational stuff on there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they've got that, I'm going to call it like edutainment, the whole Blippy and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got that on YouTube now, and it's really well produced. It's fun, it's educational. They go away having learned something, you know. So it really is competitive. So if Ryan's channel is dropping in views, it kind of makes sense as to why it's happening. Yeah. The other content is just, in a way, it's just better.
Yeah. I think it's just not fun, his newer or recent years stuff. And he's a bit older as well.
Yeah.
Like the whole unboxing, like, you know, opening a toy up, and that's fun when you're like a lot younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when he did it, like naturally, when he was younger, it was more fun, and he looked happy.
Yeah.
He, you know, you could see that he was expressing like joy, happiness, excitement.
Yeah.
And like I think kids can see that.
Yeah.
And like now he's older, and his stuff is like, I don't know, like the little challenges and stuff. I don't find that. Well, I don't think my kids find that exciting.
Yeah. Like when he was younger, opening them toys, he looked interested.
Yeah.
You know what I find interesting as well? I think that one of the last few times we had put on Ryan's World is where you and me were actually just watching it to be like, look at the house.
Yeah.
Look at the state of that house. It's crazy.
It's another new house.
It was more like the parents should just start their own vlogging channel or something.
Yeah. And do you know what's interesting is I think that Ryan actually doesn't look that happy in them.
Yeah. Yeah. A bit forced, isn't it? Do you know what I think? I was just about to mention, Ryan looked happier unboxing them toys.
Yeah.
Right. He was unboxing items which were age appropriate.
Yeah.
Now he's going to be a teenager. Now, teenagers love tech.
Yeah.
All he's got to do now, in my opinion, if he goes into the tech unboxing atmosphere, the tech unboxing space, the MKBHD space, he could absolutely smash it. Like, I don't know, there's a whole thing like he needs the personality for it and all that lot, but he's definitely got the money for it, to have an amazing space to do it in, to buy all the latest tech and have a look at it. He could really smash the
There's so
tech
many,
side.
there's so many things he could explore. There's that, and there's like gaming. Yes, he could do unboxing, you know, things that are age appropriate for him. He could go into gaming, but I think from the John Schwai podcasts we watched, I think his parents expressed that they didn't really want a lot of screen time, and that's fair, that's fine. So they want to limit that, and that's okay. Maybe they don't want him going down that gaming streaming route, and that's fine. But like, how about just, I think even if he did like once a week vlog, that's a bit more age appropriate and more interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the kids that grew up watching Ryan are now 12, 13, maybe a bit younger, maybe a bit older. I think they would find it interesting, a day in his life.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm going to school now. Okay, you don't have to show every little detail. Then after work, in the weekend, for example, this is where I go. This is the studio. I'm doing a bit of animation work. Me and my dad are deciding what toys we're launching or whatever. I think that's more interesting than him pretending to be some superhero.
Yeah.
Like he's past that.
I'm just thinking, with vlogs, would he need to be relatable? And is he relatable?
He would come across more relatable.
He would come across more relatable, yeah.
And then him wearing a weird cape.
Yeah.
That's like, I don't know, 10 sizes too small for him.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, he's got options. He's got things he can do.
That's it. He's got options. Yeah.
And I feel like the parents ideally would like to find a way to keep hold of all of the Ryan stuff, but make it so they don't need to make it taxing on Ryan or any family member in particular, where it can just make money by itself.
Yeah.
And I actually find it quite interesting that, like, they live in Hawaii, Ben. basically.
Yeah, they go back and forth between Hawaii and Houston, so every couple of months.
Yeah, and so they've got a studio in Houston that's producing content. They've got a studio in Japan that's producing content. They're like churning it out already. They've like got full whack employees. It's a proper corporation style thing. I mean, putting it this way, they've made millions upon millions.
Yeah.
And just jumping into that bit right now, their channel was the most successful channel in terms of money. It made the most money on YouTube. Highest paid YouTuber in 2018, 2019 and 2020. And in 2018 that was 22 million. In 2019 it was 26 million. And in 2020 that was 29.5 million. So they've got millions put away for sure. And even nowadays, like, it's not as if they're not like top 5 or top 3 or whatever. They really are up there. But of course, they're competing now with things like Mr. Beast, who in like 2022 or something made like about 54 million, and they had made like about half of that. So they're still absolutely smashing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I found interesting was that there was some kind of change made, like a rule change or a policy change that was made in YouTube where they advertised differently towards kids. And when that change came in, Ryan's channel, Ryan's parents and the whole family, they had a 70% decrease in income from YouTube because of that change. And it hasn't really recovered. Luckily for them, they had already like diversified their like revenue sources, and they'd gone to Pocket Watch, which I believe is a company that makes merchandise like toys, products, etc., which they could sell.
Yeah.
So they were already working with Pocket Watch and had content had products that were already like in the pipeline for them. So smart thinking.
Yeah.
Very early on.
Yeah.
See, I'm wondering, do you think they'll ever sell like Blippy? Blippy sold his channel to something like Moonbug Entertainment, who then sold it to Disney for like more than $1 billion. I think it was about $2 billion it was sold for. Do you reckon the parents will ever sell it?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not anytime soon, but yes, I do think so.
That is very interesting. I feel like what I feel like is right now it's not as sellable as Blippy was or even is. Do you know what I mean?
Why?
I feel like Blippy was really clear cut, right? It fitted a real mold where the guy goes out, maybe it's an adventure, maybe it's some kind of like playhouse, it's just somewhere visiting cowboys. He goes somewhere, he has some fun with them, there's a song, there's some learning, it's done. And he follows that same template every single time. Where I don't think that Ryan's World still nowadays follows a template. At one point, look at our new house. Next, it's unboxing a toy. Next, it's like a bit of a game show that they're doing. There's no like fixed actual product that they're giving out. And I feel like they would have to clean that up before they sell it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So they could do it, they'd have to work towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their film was a flop, wasn't it, unfortunately? I mean, we haven't seen it, but we've heard about it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was interesting. The dad was, or the parents were quite optimistic about that film, weren't they?
Yeah.
The film featured like multiple YouTube creators as well.
Right.
Other YouTube stars were on there. And I think that they were hoping that it was going to be a success and that it would pave the way for other YouTubers to now be, showcasing on the big screens.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't do very well.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, and it was released internationally as well.
Yeah, but we never heard of it.
No, we never heard of it at all. So I think the marketing must have been horrendous.
Not in UK.
Yeah.
I don't know which countries. I'm gonna assume it's like Canada, America.
Yeah, don't know.
Because we never saw it.
Yeah, apparently it cost 10 million to make and raked in about 500,000. Yeah, about that area. So that's a mega flop, really, in like the grand scheme of things. Unfortunately, could have been interesting.
Yeah,
could have been like the next stage for them guys, the next step. He also has merchandise, so basically, well, we know he's got merchandise. He's got over 1,600 licensed products in 30 countries. He's also got like TV shows as well. Ryan's Mystery Playdate, Super Spy Ryan.
The stuff with the merch though, like, again, like I've not really seen that many kids buy his merch here in England.
Yeah, I get you.
Like you know, like when we go to kids' parties here, and you know the kids' cousins and the kids' friends, none of them wear or buy Ryan's merch.
Well, somebody we know has got like a Ryan scooter.
Oh yeah, yeah. We know one person that has a Ryan something.
A Ryan scooter, but that's the only item which.
But yeah, and it's a very old scooter, may I add.
Yeah, it is cool though. Like it's got the wheels light up. So it's actually a pretty cool product.
But we don't really know many like, you know, Ryan fans, or you know, we're not out buying Ryan merch.
Yeah, no one's buying Ryan merch though. Yeah.
And it's actually quite a small selection when you see it
in the shops and stuff.
In the shops, yeah. In England, anyway.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I don't know. Maybe it's bigger over in the States, in you know, Canada, America area, but. Yeah, I just feel like his merch is not all that.
Yeah.
And it's quite expensive too for what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not really ever looked at the prices or anything. I've never considered it, you know, and that's like a bit of a thing, isn't it? Like, I suppose that if somebody I knew liked it, I would have bought it for someone, but nobody I know likes it. Yeah. Nobody's out there like actually going for his merch. What the parents have said is now that. Well, what they had done is initially they had rejected gaming. They said that we're not going to go down the gaming route because he's young and stuff, and of course the screen time, as you mentioned. But they have said that like now he's about 13 years old, he is interested in it, and it's probably the same as his peers at the moment. And so they had done a little thing with Nintendo. I think he went to Nintendo World or something, and he was using a Nintendo Switch like on one of his videos, and they did a little thing with AMD as well, you know, the people who make PC parts, processors and stuff, I suppose. And so they built a PC together, him and his dad. So they are moving into like that sphere a bit more as he's growing. So I think that they are going to develop into, I think a little bit of gaming's going to come.
Which is more his age appropriate.
Yeah, and I think tech is on its way too, yeah.
Did you feel like the podcast with John Schwei, they were a bit awkward?
I felt like the dad answered too much.
Yeah.
Especially as it's like Ryan's channel or whatever. But I get it. Really, it's not really Ryan's channel, is it? I mean, I'm sure Ryan himself respects that my parents created this, and really it has made a better, easier life for all of us.
But he's the star, though. He should have been the one answering the questions.
He is still like 12, 13-year-old, isn't it? Like, he may not have, you know, it may not be articulate enough in a way. Well, he can do his videos well enough, I get that, but that's probably scripted. Off script, he may not be articulate enough to answer the questions and may not know the details.
Yeah, fair enough for the questions that he can't answer, but the questions that he could answer, I felt like he was very short and a little awkward, like he didn't answer, almost like he didn't answer them. You know, looking at his dad every time he had to answer a question. Very limited words.
The vibe I got from the podcast, which he was on with his family, is that his parents and him have got an agreement to like reveal nothing. I think that's a big thing for them guys, is reveal nothing and talk about no other brand, no other creator, no other star, unless you've been paid to talk about them. That's what I think.
I think the questions were screened beforehand because it seemed rehearsed to me.
Do you think so?
And Ryan just came across very corny, unfortunately. With like the...
Oh, believe in yourself.
And believe in yourself.
Yeah, I thought that
it's very nice and positive, but like...
It was a bit tragic.
I just wish he showed a bit more character.
Yeah.
He showed zero confidence, which is a shame because, growing up watching his videos, he's bright and confident and happy.
He is. Yeah, he is.
And really positive still. I'm not saying he's not positive now, but it does look like he's not confident on camera.
Yeah, that is like...
Naturally, in his natural, when he's not filming for his channel.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe like going to college, like his parents want him to go to college, maybe that will help develop and grow that. Okay, so just getting on to the actual topic as to why we're making this video, to get to the meat of things. So the thing is, the things that are going round are as if he's being forced to stay on this channel. Like, let him move on. He doesn't want to make kids videos anymore. Let the guy move on and do whatever it is he wants to do. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't think he's forced. No, I don't think he's forced. I think his parents love him, and they all want it to be successful, and they want to keep it going for a little bit longer. I do think that they are thinking of Ryan and what he likes, and still trying to be mindful as well of his time, of his age. However, I feel like Ryan may not be expressing what he really wants to do. Out of like, with Asians, they like the respect for the parents. They just kind of go with what the parents think is best sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay. I'm easygoing. I'll just do whatever you want, Dad. Whatever you say, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You know what's best.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know. Like, you never know, do you? Maybe he's forced 10%. 10%. But hopefully, he's 13. He can express himself and like have a say in like, I don't want to do any videos. Like, maybe just limit it to like a once a month job.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can have time to like, I don't know, chill with friends and do what 13-year-olds do.
For me, it's a case of... for me, there's a few points on this. So firstly, like, nobody can really prove that he doesn't want to continue doing this.
Yeah.
Until he speaks of himself, there's no proof that this is not what he wants to do. And really, he could grow up and just keep aiming all of his stuff at that same young demographic, like, what is it, like 5 to 8 or 4 to 6 or something.
Yeah.
He could keep doing that, and it might turn out that that's actually what he wants to do. He might want to be like, yeah, I want to. This is fun. I'm enjoying it. There's no pressure. I can make toys. And like, in a way, that's a lot of people's dream, in a way, to just always be childish and be able to be a child like forever. So there's that. The other point on this that I was going to make is evading me at the moment, so it'll have to come back.
I just hope, like, making all this like childish content, for his age.
Yeah.
It's not going to make him awkward around people his own age and older.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I get it.
You have to... I know he goes to school and stuff, but like that can happen. That's the thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it can affect like his development and stuff. Yeah, it can.
He needs to be challenged. We can't talk about just child stuff.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, but then he's like, "Have you seen my bank balance?" So
that's true.
I'm gonna go and play on some roller skates now. See you later. And actually, my shoes have wheels. Yeah, so yeah, for me, it is a case of like, they can't prove it unless he comes out and says it himself, and he may well want to do this kind of stuff.
That's why a lot of people online were saying, why do you want to go to uni? What's the point of you going to uni?
Yeah.
People go to uni to get good jobs. You don't need to get a good job.
No, you don't do anything. The other point I was going to say, it's come back to me now, is why change a winning formula? I know that right now numbers are changing and things are dropping a little bit, yeah? But why change it when you've established so much in this market? You've got so much experience in this market, in this area. Why then exit all of a sudden? It wouldn't be a smart move, you know. But I think what they're going to do is gradually leave, move into like more teenagery stuff, and pass on the younger stuff, move it on to the daughters, the two twins that are a bit younger, and maybe get a few years out of that, maybe.
I'm surprised the twins haven't got their own channel yet. I mean, I don't know if they have, but I'm guessing they haven't.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
That's the thing though, like, just because Ryan has success, it doesn't guarantee success for the twin.
It doesn't.
The girls.
Yeah,
you know
it
what I
really
mean?
doesn't, no.
You have to be likable, and the thing is, Ryan was successful is because he started it at that right time. It's about timing.
Yeah.
He was like, you know, one of the first.
Yeah.
And back then there weren't that much competition.
No.
You know?
No.
You know, kids unboxing games and toys 10 years ago. Like, he's definitely one of the first.
Yeah. It is crazy, isn't it? What's crazy is like how it's not even that long ago. That's one thing.
Yeah.
And then the second thing is like, although it wasn't that long ago, there just wasn't that, like, that demand wasn't met.
Yeah.
There was a demand for this, and it wasn't being met, and it just wasn't long ago. It amazes me.
And now he's inspired like so many kids to start their YouTube channels.
Yeah. Yeah, and they've smashed it. Like they've raked it in. Of course, all we see is the YouTube money. Yeah. They've got the products, they've got the studios making multiple things. Right now, they've got his working week down to like, was it 1 hour a week or was it 1 day a week? It was one of them two. It was either 1 day a week or 1 hour a week is what he does at the moment. And they just try to maximise that time they've got with him, and then that's it, he's gone. They say that a lot of what he does now is just introductions to videos. So the videos start, he'll be there for like the intro, and then after that it's all animated, or it's like actors or whatever.
Yeah, makes sense.
It does, doesn't it? I mean, it's amazing.
Do you know what some netizen wrote on a comment?
Go on
a video, said that they noticed some of Ryan's old content being uploaded.
Re-uploaded?
Like recently. I don't know if it's a re-upload or just an upload, but it's old content.
That's interesting.
From when he was younger. So he was basically implying like, are they just gonna keep uploading old material because that's the stuff that gets views?
When he was younger and stuff.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, I suppose they can, can't they?
Because clearly the newer stuff is not getting the views that they used to get. But yeah.
But yeah, and for me again, there is still that. It's like, why shouldn't they like milk this like mad? Why shouldn't they milk every like dollar out of it?
Yeah.
When like they can, so they might as well. It prevents a graceful exit. That's a fact. It won't be a graceful exit when he's like, you know, aging out and still doing it. Yeah. But as long as he moves out nicely after that, moves on to something else, just flick of a switch, and he's the new like MKBHD, people will forget. Or perhaps is it YouTube boxing? I think this might be Jake Paul's next opponent. What do you think?
No.
Put it in the comments. Is Jake Paul gonna fight Ryan's toy review? as he's just had his fight with Tyson, and who's going to be the next big money fight, guys? Let us know. And we were discussing this, weren't we? Do you reckon Ryan's got the password to the
No.
to the YouTube account?
No chance.
No, he won't have, will he?
He doesn't need to see it.
He doesn't need to see it. And it's healthier for him to not see it, really.
Yeah, of course it is.
If he can avoid... Really, the less people see it, the better, I suppose.
Imagine if he saw, like, how much money, like, his last video made, and then he went to school and said, yeah, I just made a couple of 100,000 million pounds on me.
But do you reckon he knows that, though? I reckon he knows that.
I don't know.
I reckon he knows that. I reckon he can work that out at 12 years old. If he looks at how many videos he made in that year, divided by the 12 million or 26 million that was also published about the channel, he'd be like, yeah, okay, so each video made, like, easy, like, 50 grand.
I think they're doing the right thing, though. They have, diversified their portfolio. They seem to be making investments and putting risks out. I mean, the movie was a risk.
Yeah.
But it probably was a risk that they had to do because, they can't stay in one position for a long time without trying new things.
Yeah.
They've got merch and they've got animation going on. What else can they try? And, I mean, really, for a movie, 10 million is probably on the lower side.
It is, I think.
So, I mean, they've got millions to spare.
They can afford that. Yeah, that 10 million was like less than 6 months of work last year or the year before.
I mean, imagine if that was successful.
Yeah.
That would have been really rewarding.
Yeah, it would have.
That really, like the dad said, that really would have opened doors for other YouTubers.
Yeah.
They'd all be like, oh my God, we can go on the big screen now.
Yeah. And they could have looked at, I mean, this is much further down the road, but they could have looked at opening their own movie studio.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Because now they've got 2 studios producing content, one in Houston, one in Japan. That's like YouTube, call it TV production standard. They could have taken it to movie level. Yeah. It could have become like a production house.
But yeah, I think they're doing the right thing, really.
Yeah, definitely.
And, forcing or not, child slave, exploiting Ryan or not, nobody will really know.
Do you think it's the case?
No, I don't.
Neither do I. I don't think he's forced. I think he's comfortable. I think he's happy. I think he's happy to help his parents, happy to help his family. Yeah, that's it. As long as he's not being overworked, which I'm sure he's not being overworked.
Yeah, I think people, have seen his, recent videos and they've seen his, his face might have looked a bit awkward, a little tired perhaps. But he's 13, isn't he?
Yeah, natural.
He's going to look like the awkward teenager.
Yeah, natural, yeah.
And I'm sure, I'd like to think that, he's got loving parents, supportive parents that he's, comfortable going to.
Yeah.
If he feels uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Wearing a cape.
Yeah. That's it. He can go to his parents, I think that they're in a place where they all recognise and realise that they've all made something here.
Yeah.
They've done something and made something here. They don't really have to worry about what comes next and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I do get like the vibes from like the podcast and a couple of interviews that the dad is a bit controlling.
Right.
I think the dad, he's the one that, is the decision maker.
Right. Interesting.
But yeah.
I get the vibe that something is a little bit off, and for me, I don't like the vague answers. The vague answers are really weird. At one point, he was asked, which YouTubers do you watch? And he mentioned, nobody. And then the interviewer wasn't having it. And he was like, what? You don't even watch Mr. Beast? And then Ryan was like, well, I know of him. But
no, he said his stuff was cool. I watch it sometimes.
Yeah, but the vibe was very...
sometimes it's cool.
That's it. The vibe was very much, well, I know of him.
That's what I mean. I'm okay with vague answers.
I'm not okay with vague answers.
I'm okay with vague answers. If all 3 of them, the whole family, were giving vague answers, that's fine. What I felt uncomfortable about was Ryan himself. I wish he just came across more happier, more confident. I wish he could come across on the interview where like he could say whatever he wanted.
Be a bit cheeky, have a laugh.
And even if it was vague, that's him. That's him being vague. He doesn't want to. I wish I could see him being cocky and arrogant. And I've made it. Yeah, I'm a teenage billionaire. I don't want to answer who my favorite YouTuber is. I wish he was like that, but it wasn't. It was the complete opposite, polar opposite. It was like too scared to answer. Let me look at Dad. Is that
so
right?
You reckon there was like a bit of a dad scare, a parent scare thing there?
Yeah, like I do think like he's been trained by his parents, mum, dad, maybe dad more, to answer questions in a certain way.
That to answer questions in a certain way, yeah, I agree with that, yeah. But I think that they're all following that same ethos. They're all answering those questions the same way.
Yeah.
And in that sense, I like that. I like that because that's family unity.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all sticking together. We're all going to do it together. That's fine. That's good. And that's good. But of course, for me, the viewer, I'm like, stop being awkward, man. Answer the question. Relax.
Yeah.
I got the vibe of like, I'm not answering this question unless I'm in partnership with the YouTuber I'm going to mention, or unless I'm being paid to discuss this and talk about that YouTuber. Do you get it? That's the vibe I got. Like there was another question where the podcast guy says, what's the cheapest YouTube video you've ever made? Like, how much did that ever cost you? And then for me, they were trying to force relatability, like trying to force like being relatable a bit too much. And the mother said, well, you know, the some of them, they're free. You know, you just get your iPhone and you just get a few things and you just discuss it. So yeah, some of them are free. And I was like, yeah, but that wasn't really the question. You know what I mean? And there was another question like that as well, where the guy had asked a question, and I was like, they are not going to answer that. And then they didn't answer it. But that's the way it goes, isn't it? Like, you get all these politician answers where it's like a non-answer, basically.
I hope that Ryan has the freedom and the time to discover his hobbies and interests outside of YouTube as well.
Yeah.
You know, like when the interviewer on the podcast asked him, what do you want to be in the future? And he answered animator, didn't he?
Yeah, animator, yeah.
I feel like it's one of those answers that it's because he's already in that environment, you know, like pushed by his mum and dad.
Yeah.
Because he's in that job and his dad's got studios here and there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like he's just thought of it because it's easy. I'm already in it, and it's not because I really pursued that interest and that hobby and I really like it. I'm really passionate about it. So I just had that feeling.
Okay.
That it was a bit forced.
Okay.
But
I got a slightly different vibe, to be honest. I saw it from a perspective of he's been around a lot of different creatives at this point, script writers, people who make screenplays, directors, all of them, actually, by this point. And at one point, he'd have been around animators, and he's probably been fortunate enough to be able to sit there and watch them work. And I feel like he sat there, watched them work, and thought, you know what, that looks calming, fun. You get to see the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
I'm involved with the entire creative process, and I've got full creative control. Do you know what I mean? Like that. And he's like, and I myself find animation interesting because, like, with animation, you'll never, for example, let's say you instead run a TV series like Friends. At one point, one of those actors wants to do you over and ask for like a mad contract or else they're leaving. What are you going to do? With animation, no one's ever going to do that. You're drawing all the characters. You know what I mean? Like, the level of control you've got when it comes to animation is mad. So maybe there's like a degree of like theme of control in there. But there's also the working at your own pace, the fun, the probably good mental health side to it, colouring and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I saw it. And I thought I could picture him sitting next to an animator being like, wow, this is actually pretty cool, like seeing how you do this.
That's interesting, because I felt like he said it because he was already in it. It's already set up by his mum and dad, and I'm just going to choose this because I think it'll make my dad happy.
I don't think he'll do it though.
I didn't really see much passion in it, and it seemed very just like a bit zombified.
I get
no
you.
offense.
Yeah, no.
But he actually came across more passionate and a bit more happier. A burst of happiness came through when he was talking about tennis. When he said he wants to like pick up his tennis and improve his tennis because he's really enjoying it at the moment.
I missed that bit entirely.
But yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think he'll go into any kind of like being an animator or anything at all. I think that was just an answer for the masses. Yeah, for the podcast, for the masses. I don't think that his real cards are like being shown. I like that his parents are pushing his education. Mm-hmm. And they're happy that his education is going well at the moment. Yeah,
I'm glad that his education is going well. He's doing good at school.
Yeah, I can see them like pushing for that, and I like that they give him the summer camp which the kids go to every year, and there's no technology. I like that.
Yeah,
that's really good. That's really healthy. So they're definitely implementing healthy things which they can afford to do when they've got like mega money. So yeah, good. Again, for me, just to reiterate, I don't think he's being forced. I think he's happy doing what he's doing. Family has helped him. Now he's helping the family. And they are slowly moving away from perhaps the kid stuff and moving into a different direction. It might be smart of them to sell the kid stuff. Like we're talking about selling it. Mm-hmm. Instead of moving, they should just sell the kid stuff. Like make their final chunk of cash off it. Sell it big time to Disney or something if they can. Well, clean it up, then sell it. And then he moves on to like, okay, now I'm doing tech. Or whatever else he wants to do next. Sell it, then reinvent. That's what I think. And like right now, him not leaving the industry, I was also thinking is like, he's probably in contracts. I could be wrong. But there might be like contracts, like merchandising contracts, like, I don't know, we still need you in this for a few years while this product is being produced, or for as long as you're producing this product, you've kind of got to be doing what you're doing. I don't know. But I'm probably not in contracts because I'm sure they're in the driver's seat for everything, really. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to be contracted. They're not going to be contracted to something else. They should be in control of all the contracts, to be honest. This was interesting as well. They said that if or when they do move on, if Ryan does move on to like other content, like if he ages out, they would cast somebody. That's mad, isn't it? Like they would cast someone to come in and like be the kid in the Ryan's world, which is basically what Disney's done with Blippi. They've got someone cast the guy in. What I find mad about that is like you'd be casted and you'd be acting and doing it, but surely all the way through you're thinking, I could have made millions. You know what I mean? Like I could make millions if I did this myself. You wouldn't have that production standard, of course, because it would be funded by like a massive rich company by this point. But if you can do it for them, you can do it for yourself when it comes to YouTubing. I think so. The guy who's doing Blippi right now, if he just disappeared, came back with some other character, Bloppo, it would work. It would work because a big part of like kids YouTube, a lot of YouTube in general, a lot of it is like on the personality and stuff, really. So, you know,
it's a lot of time and effort to build it up to Blippi or Ryan's level, and it's not guaranteed either.
Yeah, that's true. That's one thing which I found pretty crazy. What they mentioned, that Ryan's parents mentioned that like we didn't know how long YouTube is going to last. Like YouTube could be gone. And that's a massive point in itself. Like YouTube itself could have like disappeared and gone. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So who else is there in that sphere? There's Blippi, Miss Rachel.
There's loads. British ones, American ones.
Steve and Maggie, Dancing Fruit. Then there's foreign ones, aren't there? Like, South Asian ones. What are they called now?
Cocomelon.
Cocomelon. Yeah, they're a powerhouse. They produce a lot. And they're all animation bass, they do really well. But yeah, it's a crowded space, so if his numbers are dropping...
We liked Baby Bus.
Baby Bus, see?
Now I find Cocomelon so annoying.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't think I found it that crazy at the time.
It's the intro.
Who made Baby Shark?
Some Singaporean.
I've forgotten who made Baby Shark, but those guys also smash it too.
Ping Fong, Singaporean.
Yeah, Ping Fong, yeah. Yeah. So it's a crowded space and a changing landscape. So, you know, with his numbers going down, it's going to be natural. I don't think it's necessarily an age thing, although I think kids looking at him and hearing his voice breaking are probably finding him less relatable to themselves. But I think that there are still, of course, a lot of kids who are still going to enjoy it. And
I think he should just pass the torch to the sisters.
Yeah.
And then he can just do it like twice a month, appear on a video or two.
Yeah, special feature.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Or just like, you know, when he gets some new tech stuff, then unbox them, talk about them.
Yeah.
And what he's been doing with his life.
Yeah.
And what new car I've bought recently.
Yeah, that's
Imagine so in like a couple of
3
years' time, he'll be buying new cars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he'll be buying a new condo, new apartments.
Yeah.
And view those instead.
Well,
Then you'll
that's
get the adults.
Yeah.
And the teens.
They'll be like, see you later, Mum and Dad. I hated this from the start.
Then he could go on like holidays.
By himself.
He could do like business class, first class reviews on planes.
Yeah, he could do what he wants. That time is coming. It's coming fast.
I feel like he'd be a really good like foodie channel one as well.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I've got a feeling like he's into his food.
He could enjoy that actually.
Yeah, he could just go to like cool places and be like, this is my favourite place to eat in the weekends with my dad.
Yeah, it could be quite adventurous, that, isn't it, really? Because by now he should have spent some time in Japan as well and, you know, different parts of the world.
And like, he could do a lot of content in Hawaii really too, really, if you wanted to. You know what I mean? No kid stuff.
Yeah.
So yes, see how creative they are in it, I guess.
Yeah, and I see them as being like quite a creative bunch, really.
I guess the main thing is fitting it around his school schedule now.
Yeah.
And that should be his priority. He should, you know, take a step back from it.
Yeah, school and then college.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, sorry?
Have a break from YouTube.
Oh, have a break, yeah.
Less time from it and more time in school. I think that is more important.
Yeah. So, just final thoughts then. Do you think he's being forced?
No.
No, innit? He's not. I think that the dad controls a lot of it. I think the mum used to control a lot of it. Now she's just saying that she wants to chill. But, I don't know. I think the dad defo controls a lot of it.
Yeah, I think the parents definitely control a lot of it.
Yeah.
A lot of his time and schedule and holidays and stuff, which they should.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think he's forced. He's just like, he just looks less interested.
Yeah, and I don't think that the parents have anything like, I know it's
malicious.
A bit weird to say.
Like, I think on the internet, on, you know, like the social media, a lot of people in the comments and, you know, these video creators, they're saying, they're basically implying that there's like malintent almost with the parents.
That's what I was going to say.
Exploiting and stuff. And I don't think it is the case.
I don't think so either.
At all.
Yeah, I really do think that they are protecting him.
I do think like they love him.
I think they're protecting him, themselves, and, you know, the other two kids. I think that they really are taking care of each other and they're making healthy decisions. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And often the healthy decision is we're in a good place, we can work, we can make money together.
Yeah.
Healthy thing right now is for us to do that.
The thing is, there's a lot of haters out there, you know, and they kind of, a lot of people like to see people fail, don't they? And they just jealousy, you know, and all that. But yeah, I think, and sometimes when you've seen like one video of Ryan and he doesn't look as happy as he was in, I don't know, the 20 videos before, it could just be a mistake. Like it doesn't have to be a successful video every time. Maybe they effed up on one video.
Yeah, yeah.
So what? Like, they're allowed to F up on one video.
I agree.
That's a bad idea, Ryan. We won't do that again because you don't look very comfortable. And that's fine. Maybe they shouldn't have uploaded it, but it's a learning curve, isn't it? It's all good.
Yeah, and for me, it's a case of like, once you start on that slope of like always having to act a certain way or appear a certain way on a video, that's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Like you'd end up like deleting scenes, videos, all kinds of stuff, because you've now started on that slope of like, oh, let's make sure we appear this way, make sure we come across this way. Oh, that wasn't happy enough. That wasn't more energy. It's like,
I think the more natural Ryan will come across on his videos, the better it'll be, and he will find his new audience.
Yeah.
And whether like the existing or old audience stick or don't, I'm sure he'll find a new audience with his new content.
Yeah.
They'll find their way. I think if you want to stick around, you will.
Yeah.
And you just have to embrace Ryan for who he is now. And obviously, if you don't like his stuff, then just don't watch his stuff.
Simple. He'll be in a place where like, I've made enough money. So yeah, I agree. Just gotta get his personality out, have a laugh.
Yeah.
Be yourself, be unscripted, start a podcast even. That could be interesting. But yeah, that's what I think as well. Get that personality out, enjoy yourself, and if they like you, they like you. I think you need to stop worrying about like pressure to perform. The performing is being done now. You've done really well. So if he wants to move into a different space, that can be his different space. Just a place to do whatever he wants now. Just in a way, like PewDiePie. Like, PewDiePie did really well. But I feel like in a way he was just himself all the way through. And people attacked him in certain situations and he made his own mistakes and all that lot. But I feel like now where he is, he literally just makes a video of like what he wants to make a video of when he wants to make it. Like, I've achieved my goal. I've made the money that I wanted to make. Now I'm just going to basically have fun. If you're along for the ride, you're along for the ride. If not, then not. That's the way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's this podcast basically done. And that was talking about Ryan's World, etc., etc. These podcasts are going to start to become available on other podcasting platforms where you find your podcasts. It's going to take a little bit of time, although Spotify is going to be pretty quick to set up. So once I have sorted this out for the other podcasting platforms, you'll find the links to those in the description below. Again, if the link ain't there, it may come like a week or two following. So check it again. But for now, thanks for watching and listening, and I will catch you in the next one. See you later.
See ya.